Good morning and welcome to Family Computer Center. In this video, we'll be discussing about the variables in Excel VBA and how to assign values to these variables. So variables are named location for storing the data. So during the program execution, sometimes we receive inputs from the user, sometimes we calculate intermediate result, sometimes we will have some final result which we have to store somewhere before we display it or pass it to the user. So for that we use variables. So when you are using variable in Excel VBA, you have to declare the variable before using that variable. So the declaration syntax is like this. You start with the keyword dim, then you will give a name for the variable name, as, and the type of data type. Okay, so variable name is the name of the location you are giving. Data type, you are specifying what type of data is going to be stored in that particular location. So in this case, location, we are talking about the location in the primary memory, which is RAM. Okay, so here is an example. You can see dim age as integer, where age is the name of the location and integer is the type of value we are going to store in that particular location. Okay, so when you are giving the name for the variable, you have to be aware of the rules for naming the variable. So when you are giving a name for the variable name must be unique. That means inside one subprocedure you cannot make more than one variable with the same name. And second rule, variable name must not be a keyword. That means you cannot use the reserved words of the language as the name of the variable. And third rule, you have to always start with a letter when you are naming the variable. And the fourth rule, numbers are permitted, but after the letter you can use numbers. Okay. And fifth rule, special symbols are not permitted in the variable name. And the next one, underscores are permitted. Instead of space, you can adjust with the underscore. And the seventh rule, your variable name must be meaningful. That means you cannot play with the alphabets A, B, C, D like that. If you are going to store the age, name the variable as age. Okay, so these are the basic things you have to know about the variable naming. And now we will go to the data type. What all are the data types supported by the Excel VBA? So Excel VBA data types are mainly categorized into two types. One is numeric and the other one is non-numeric. The numeric data type is for handling the numbers. Non-numeric values are for handling the values which are not numbers. So numeric again categorized into several categories, depends on what type of number they store and how much memory they consume. So we have byte, which consume 1 byte, integer which consume 2 byte, long which will consume 4 bytes. All these three are used to store the whole numbers. Whole numbers means the numbers without decimal places, natural numbers without decimal places. And single 4 bytes, double 8 bytes, currency 8 bytes, decimal 12 bytes. All of these are storing the numbers with decimal places. Okay, non-numeric variable, we have string which is used to store the text, date which consume 8 bytes and which stores the date, boolean is 2 bytes which is used for storing yes or no values, object is 4 bytes storing the object means the sheet or workbook or range or something like that. Okay, so now we have learned what are variables and how to name the variable and what are the data types we can store inside the variable location. Okay, so now we will check how we can assign value to the variable. The first method of assigning value to the variable is direct assignment. So in direct assignment you will declare the variable, and second one you will directly assign the value using the assignment operator, which is the equal symbol. Okay, so we will do an example on that. So we will go to the example sheet and I'm gonna go to the Visual Basic. Then I will insert a new module and I will give the name for the module variable test. Okay, then I'm saying like sub direct assign. Okay, so in this case I'm just declaring dim age as integer, and I'm saying age is equal to 34, and I'm saying like this workbook dot sheets of example dot range of what B2 equals age. So as we have learned, I was just writing this line to make you understand, like when I say age, that age goes to this range. That means the 32, the value 32 goes to this range. Okay, so here we declare an age variable and we assign direct value to the age variable, and we have passed that age to the cell B2 of example sheet. So let's go back, insert a button and try it. So I insert a button and I'm just giving the button name method 1. Then you know how to format the button, so make this like a button. Then right click, assign macro, and I'm giving a direct assign. When I click this button, I can see 32 in B2. That means we have declare the variable, assign the value directly, and pass that variable to this cell. So when you pass the variable to this cell, actually the variable name is not the one coming. The value stored in the variable is coming. Okay. So now we will check the second method of assigning value, assigning from Excel. From Excel means like we are taking from Excel cell. So we are simply saying dim customer name as string. Customer name is equal to, take it from B7. It is saying like that. So I will talk to you with an example. So here I will say like customer name, and I will make a box here for the customer to enter the name. Okay, so these two boxes, and I will have a box here which I want to show the customer name once I click this button. So I will keep these buttons parallel to each other. Okay, so once I click this button, what should happen? Once I click this button, the name entered should come here. So that's what is my plan. So that means the VBA should take the name from here and put it in here. So this cell is C9 and this cell is B11. So I'll go back to my code. Then I will say like sub take from Excel, and I'm saying like dim CST name as string. Okay, then I'm saying CST name is equal to this workbook dot sheets of example dot range of, that range was C9 and this is B11. C9, B11, C9. So I'm asking like take the value from C9. Then I'm saying like this workbook dot, I'll just copy this down, C B11 is equal to CST name. Okay, so when I come back in here, I'll just assign the macro, assign macro, take from Excel. Then I'm giving here Joji. When I click this button, Joji comes here. That means this value was taken inside to the variable and that value is returned to the Excel back. So we just return back to see like variable is working or not. Okay, this is not necessary to return the value back to Excel. So we just took it in this variable and we just want to understand that value comes to the variable. So that's why we put it back to the Excel to check. Okay, so now I will have a method 3 button. So I will place it here, method 3. So when I click this method 3 button, what should happen? It should ask the user to enter the value, and the value the user enters should come here. That's what is my plan. Okay, I will use the same B11 for this. Okay, so that's the third method of assigning value entered by the user in interactive mode. So in this method you are going to learn one more function in Excel VBA called input box. So in this case we will declare the variable and we will use the input box function to get the value. So this is how you use the input box. You have to say variable is equal to input box prompt. Prompt means like your message to the user. Title is the title of the input box. Default means what the default value you want to show there. Okay, so we will do an example now. So our plan is to take the value, the name from the user, and whatever name entered by the user should come here in the B11 cell. Okay. So I will declare the variable. I will take like sub interactive. Then I'm simply saying dim cst cust name as string. Then I'm saying like cust name is equal to input box. Please enter your name, comma. Next one is title. Name recreate, comma, type here. Okay, so this is a prompt, and this is the title, and this is the default. Then I'm simply saying like I will copy this statement down. I want this cell to show the cust name. Okay, so let's go back and try it. So when I right click, assign the macro interactive. So when I click this button, it shows me the input box. So you can see the title name required is here. Please enter your name. So that's the prompt. Type here is the default value. So I'm going to enter my name, enter the name here like James. So when I click OK, so that name is taken to this cell. Okay, so there is one more thing I want to tell you about the input box. So in front of the input box, if I'm saying like application dot, see, now it is saying application dot input box, correct? So when I click this button, it gives you nice little cute input box. So this is the input box of Excel. So the input box you previously see is the input box of VB. Okay, so I'm typing again here Georgie. Okay, Georgie comes here. Hope you enjoyed the lesson. Thank you so much for watching, and make sure that you subscribe to our channel so that you will not miss any further video we post.